What's up, guys? It's Zeph next door. I just want to make this quick video. First, you see the glasses. That's a new update, man. You know, I couldn't see, now I can. I was on Instagram yesterday and I was looking at this post, and the caption of the post is "God will make your enemies your footstool," and it was using like a sound bit from like some scene where it was like my enemies won't get the best of me. It was basically saying, she was basically saying that God will make her enemies her footstool. It didn't really sit right with me, because a lot of times the mistake that we make as Christians is that we take Christian verses, we take it out of context, and we use it for our own benefit. And that's not really gospel, that's not really Bible. So I read Psalms 110, and to me, right, I believe that this verse is taken out of context way too many times. If you read Psalms 110, sorry, my glasses are getting the best of me. If you read Psalms 110, the description of the person whose enemies will be their footstool is the Lord who sits at the right hand of the Lord. And one day he will show his wrath, and it's described that Lord who sits at the right hand of the Lord will one day have his enemies be his footstool. Then I thought to myself, we don't have the identity of one who sits at the right hand of the Father, but Jesus does. And if you pay attention to the teachings of Jesus, you start to notice that when it came to the subject, to the matter of enemies, Jesus was very specific as to what he wanted us to do. The very words of Jesus is to love our enemies. And I'm thinking to myself, what could that possibly mean? I also think about Ephesians 6:12, that we're not fighting against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities and things of that nature. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are we taking a verse that, based off what I'm seeing, describes Jesus, God who sits at the right hand of God the Father? Why are we taking that verse and using it for our own benefit? Why have I even taken that verse and used it as a reason to speak to another brother in an unhealthy manner? Why have I taken that verse and looked at another human being, right, who's made in the image and the likeness of God, and see them as someone who will be my own footstool? Why have I done that? Why do we do that? Let's check ourselves real quick. If the Bible says to love our enemies, it's a B. If the Bible gives us a commandment, right? If Jesus literally says that he can sum up the commandments of the word into two commandments: love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. Doesn't that mean we're required to love our enemies as ourselves? I find it crazy how the very people that we've been called to preach the gospel to are the very people that are supposed to be our footstool. Imagine, right? Imagine calling an image bearer your footstool. This is just a perspective that I have, and I don't think it's an unhealthy one. It's Jesus at the end of the day who's telling me to love my enemies, so how am I supposed to love them? If you see yourself calling human beings, right, who may have offended you and done things, and you come to the conclusion that they're your footstool, be very careful. Not only that, but he also sacrificed his blood for them as well. Be very careful, be very mindful. I think it's about time that we realize that the gospel isn't self-centered. The true enemy is Satan and his demons. Can he use people that are outside the will of God? Yes. But at the end of the day, if the Bible says that we aren't fighting against flesh and blood, why are we fighting against flesh and blood? It's just a little perspective that I had. Hopefully that resonates with you. It definitely resonated with me. And yeah, I got some videos on the way, drafting some, editing some, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys.